Bob?
Yeah.
Are you afraid of death?
Yeah.
Me too. There's no way out of it. You're going to die. I'm going to die. It's going to happen. What difference does it make if it's tomorrow or in 80 years? Much sooner in your case. Do you know how fast time goes? I was 6, like yesterday.
Me too.
I'm going to die. You are going to die. What else is there to be afraid of?
We're gonna die, and that's why we created Mere Mortals.
I love that clip so much. I just threw it out there. I was like, maybe we should open this with that clip. And that's what I love about Kathy is she comes to play. We come to play.
So the first time that we played this was at a workshop that Joe and I created. We'll introduce ourselves in just a second. But at the Refuge, our faith community, and we did Mere Mortals Life and Death Considerations workshop in person. And this video series and kind of this passion project that we have is based on that because we saw the value. There were, I think, 26 people in the room recognizing that we're going to die and giving a space to talk about preparing for that and naming this really important thing. So it was a really fun night. And when Joe said, hey, let's start with this, it's the perfect clip because we are all going to die and we need to talk about it more.
Yeah, I think our culture is just so scared of it. We sanitize so much around life and death, and to really begin to be comfortable about talking about it because it's scary for a lot of folks, and there's some beauty in really accepting this is what's going to happen. And how do I want to enter into the winter season of my life, and what do I want to leave behind?
Yes. And so I am glad that you're here. We are glad to do this together. My name is Kathy Escobar, and I'm one of the founders of The Refuge, which is a hub for healing community, social action, and creative collaboration in Broomfield. This particular project is not like necessarily from The Refuge, it's from us, and because we care about this topic. And so being here together is the most important thing. But I want to say that part of my work has been to hold space for people over the years as they died. And so some of what we have in this material kind of stemmed from that. And then we co-created this together. And then actually we crowdsourced it at our workshop. And so some of the things that got added were from the people who are participating and help strengthen it. And we love that part. That's that creative collaboration and what happens together.
And I'm Joe Douglas, and I am a co-pastor with Kathy at The Refuge. And my role is soul care, spiritual formation, and kind of nurturing the Jesus-y part of the community, and also just the overall organizational health. So yeah, happy to make this more accessible to more people. That's like always the dream.
Yeah. And so after our workshop in March, which was just an experiment, and that workshop came out of the reality of a friend of ours from the Refuge dying unexpectedly and realizing that we really just didn't have what she wanted. We didn't really know. And so it was like, we've just got to create a space where we can be more honest about it and see if in community people would be willing to do the work. And some people want to, and some people don't, but everyone watching this, somehow coming to this website that we created, must somehow be interested. And since then, what's happened is we put all the materials in a folder in Google, and multiple people that I know have accessed it and done it. And I feel so relieved when I hear it, because I just know that there's somewhere something written down that if and when, not if, because we're all going to die, but if and when something happens, now it will be recorded and someone that loves them will be able to say, this is what they wrote, and knew about it. And so the purpose of this time is really to walk through what we call the Mere Mortals worksheet, which really is just a personal narrative that helps each person adapt to consider some things that we might want people to know before we die, because some of us might have a terminal illness and have a time to do that, and then others of us could die suddenly, and that's happened in all of our lives. And so the piece of this that's very important is to know this is not a legally binding document. So when we were together at the refuge, we actually brought the 5 wishes, which is a really popular tool. It's legally binding in a lot of states, but not every state. And we put that resource on the website, and you can go to that. And I think it's $5 to get a copy, and you can just do it online. You can do an online version. I've done that with people. And that is a legally binding document that says things about advanced medical directive. That, should something happen and your body is still going, but you're dead or dying, that you have some choice about how long you want life support and food and water and some of those things. And it's very helpful to people when we can't communicate to know how to talk to doctors about that, and they see it and it's legally binding. So this is the Mere Mortals template is not that. That is a separate thing, and I highly recommend everybody having that. I have an advanced medical directive that is separate from 5 wishes, but it says what I want. And any of these documents are legally binding. The doctors need to do it. And then wills, this is not a will. So for people that have assets and things that are really, a legally binding document is a will, and it says where everything's going to go and upon our death. And so this is not that either. And that's really important. And we have a link to that, and it's a good idea. But I'm going to be a fan for, if you didn't have any of those things, maybe at least have this, because it will really help. I hope that every person has an advanced medical directive and a will in place. But in our community and when talking to people, a lot of people don't. And so this is my pitch to do it, because you can do it in the simplest way, and it really will help untangle things that happen when we die, for people having to make phone calls and take care of bank accounts and different kinds of things. It really, really helps to have these legal documents in place. But that is not what Mere Mortals is. This is more a personal narrative about what we want when we die.
Yeah, and one of the things we talked about in our workshop was that, sometimes it's easier to think about what we don't want. So, because, someone's like, well, I don't know what I want. I don't really care. I've heard a lot of people say, I don't really care what they do at my funeral, and I'm gone, and then, but what if they, you give an example, play this song and it's a song you hate, like, actually you do kind of care. Or there's like a hell and fire and brimstone sermon or something, and you're like, oh no, actually I don't want that. So sometimes thinking like, okay, what don't I want, can help you kind of come to like, what do I actually want, and what matters to me? Because it does actually matter, because I think we can sometimes be like, I don't care, I'm gone, but we do care. Most people care.
Yes, I love that example. And so, yeah, my friends and family definitely know what music I want to be played and what vibe I want to have happen. And, we do try in our family to just talk openly about death. We had a sudden death of our son just a few weeks before his 20th birthday. And so we got kind of thrown into the reality of this thing, living this thing. And it was completely different than other places that I've traveled with people. But here's what I do know, is that it helps to just where we started with the What About Bob video. And that is, we're all going to die. And to accept our mere mortalness, as hard as it is really wise humaning, and to create a language of being able to talk about it openly and not be as afraid of it. And those are many more conversations that we could have, and we're not going to do all of that in this moment. Our heart and our hope is that more people just take time in their own way. This is just one path, but you could express it in any way that works to get some of this thought through, and to just give a chance to have something left behind for people to know. So I think, can you think of anything else that is important in this moment to know before we really kind of move into the second place of just really walking through this?
I think just acknowledging all the feels. That's always good. For some people, like for me, death has always just been part of life, and it's been easy for me to reckon with. I don't know why, but my dad and my brother, they like don't like talking about it. They don't want to talk about it, and it's like pulling teeth to get to do anything. And so I think just recognizing we're all on a spectrum as far as our emotions around this, and that it's really brave that you're choosing to do this, and to just be honest about it. And so just be kind to yourself through the process. If things come up that are hard, it's okay, and that's normal. And so just to be kind to yourself and welcome all the feels. That's that guest house poem from Rumi comes to mind. So
I love that. I love that. I wonder if we should read that really quick.
yeah,
As
let's
we
find it.
start. Do you have it there?
I can, and momentarily, with the magic of the cell phone. All right. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond.
Mm. Oh, thank you, Joe. I'm really glad that you thought of that today. It's perfect. And so we're going to take care of ourselves and engage with this material in any way that works for you. We have no agenda. There's no money involved. There's no catch. There's no next thing you need to do. We just hope that you can access something to adapt in any way that works for you. So this first video is just this introduction, and then the second video is centered on walking through the worksheet, so that these are some things to consider. And then our last short video is with our friend Becky Davis from Natural Funeral. And she is going to help us with options beyond just fire, cremation, and burial, which are the two things that pretty much universally, in my experience, are the two things that have been brought on the table. And so, and then a little bit about dying with dignity that is in some states as well. And so we look forward to diving into the next place. It would be great if you would download on the website. There's a place to download the template. You can kind of follow along in any way that works for you. But this, what we're going to talk about next, is available there as well.
All right. See you on the next one.
All right.